This is Danielle Caminiti, and I'm on the Italian Sicilians Do It Better podcast. Check out the latest episode.
Italian Sicilians do it better. Oh, can't you see? From cooking to comedy, it's pure family. Turn it up. This groove's for you. Queens in the house, bringing something true.
What's going on, everyone? We're back with another one. Today we have a lot of great food talk going to happen, plus more. Danielle Caminiti is in the building. Have you covered in the kitchen? How you doing today?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi, welcome, Danielle. I'm really excited to have you here, and we could talk food and all about you and how you started.
I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
I love your podcast. Always makes me laugh.
Thank you. I love your food, the food stuff you do, and the collaboration you do with Anthony and the guys, and all the places you visit. It's mind blowing how a simple skit can either make you very hungry or very excited to be laughing, just having a good time with the social media.
It is. It's a blast. It's been a blast.
That's
You meet so many
because
nice
she
people.
has Italian in her blood, so how could her food not be good?
It's the best thing to be, right?
So let's take it back a bit. Let's talk about what made you start your page and how was the social media born?
So I was a late bloomer, I think, to social media. I really didn't have a public profile until COVID happened. And backtrack years, I never really had Facebook. My friends all told me to get Facebook. I was very private. I really didn't want to be out there so much. But COVID happened, and I basically turned my profile, which was then private, into a public profile. So I started to cook and recipe develop just out of the need, because watching the news, everything was gloom and doom. Everything was focused on the pandemic and all the damage the pandemic was doing and the lack of control we all had, right? We couldn't...
People stuck with the phones.
Right.
Yep.
You had to stand 6 feet apart. You couldn't go here. Restaurants had restrictions.
It was a very dark, scary time. Everything was negative. Kids even couldn't go to school. So
Yes.
you needed to
You needed to have
brighten
an
up
outlet.
your day, and you turned to food.
100%. And a lot of the restaurants you couldn't get in. They were closed, or they were open only for takeout. So in my mind, it was like, well, you can't control what I plan in my menu. You can't tell me to stand 3 feet from my frying pan. I'm going to go to the farmer's market. I'm going to go to the supermarket. I'm going to plan my menus. And it was cathartic. I found that it was really like something that I like to do. I looked forward to it every day. My son was home. He was in school remotely.
Zoom, yeah.
Right. And
Remote.
so every day it would give me something to look forward to among the lockdown, among everybody being locked down. So, and then it started to kind of bring me back to the old school recipes that we grew up with. And a lot of the ones that I hadn't had in a long time. Like my grandmother used to make it this way. My Nana used to do this. And so then I started to recreate them. And then it was just, I kind of took it was like my little oasis every day as to what I was making. So one thing led to another. I worked backwards, and then the cookbook was born. I really didn't set.
Yeah, and you brought it over. It looks beautiful. I flipped through the pages.
Thank you.
Honestly, so many pictures, colors. I don't know if you could see. And family photos in the back, I saw as
Thank you.
well.
Yes, I have
And there's
a
a
bunch of
great
them.
variety of dishes. And not only just Italian, I saw. Like, you have
Right.
other favorite dishes of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I like to eat everything. I love Italian food, but I do love every other type of cuisine. I don't discriminate. So I have all of my favorite dishes in there as like a compilation of kind of an ode to living in New York, having all the exposure of all the cuisines that we have here. I love Japanese. I love Mexican. I love Greek food.
Oh, yeah.
I love a little bit of everything. So it's Italian American, and it's kind of like a little bit everything.
Yeah,
in
no,
between.
it's a great variety. It really is.
Thank you.
I think you did a great job with
Thank
it. And this
you.
you did during COVID?
I did it.
You put it
during
together?
COVID. Yes, so it's self-published.
Okay.
I published it through Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was definitely a work that I'm very proud of, because it also has not only the recipes, but it has my story. And my story is that I'm a lawyer. By trade. I say lawyer by trade, foodie by birth.
Yes.
And because I think I was born foodie. Like I just in utero, I don't know where it happened, but we're Italian. This is what happens.
right.
It's a blessing and a curse, we say.
What kind of practice did you do?
So I work for myself, and I'm a litigator. I have a little bit of background in civil law and criminal law. I worked in the district attorney's office for a while. I got a lot of exposure, tried cases. Then I went over to do medical malpractice defense work. So we defended the doctors and the hospitals and the PAs when they were sued. And then I did a little bit of commercial litigation. And then I went on my own. So after that, I basically started my own shop. And now I run an agency for other lawyers. So if
That is amazing.
Thank you. Let's say you're a lawyer, a solo practitioner, you need help. You run your own ship. You have to be in 5 counties on the same day. You can't do it. You don't have the manpower to do it. You call me and I find you court coverage, any courthouse in New York State, all 62 counties. I know who's where on any given day. So it's kind of like, it's an agency. It's kind of like, like a substitute teacher. My attorneys work for me. I'm not in every county, but they work for me. And I have a whole team of reliable and competent attorneys, and we're kind of everywhere. And it's really busy now. Knock wood, it definitely bounced back after COVID. For a while, we were scared it wouldn't, but it really did.
See, that's mind blowing to me. I mean, I seen your line from lawyer to kitchen, right?
Right, from courtroom
And
to
now
kitchen.
hearing everything you're doing, plus the cooking and some of the comical stuff you do, where do you find the time?
I know.
Forget being a mom too.
I know. That's the thing. It's like the cooking is fun, and it's my passion really. And the humorous stuff, the skits that we do, that's all fun stuff. It doesn't seem like work to me. It just seems like it's fun with fun people, and I met a lot of great people along the way. So I didn't want to give that up, and I still don't want to give it up. And I find time for it, because when you enjoy it, you don't feel like it's really any type
not
of work. Exactly.
It's true.
So, but it is. It's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. I wear a lot of different hats. Yes,
Yeah, and then they're almost, I'll say, 3 completely different hats.
I know. It's like the opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Right.
It really is. But it's become a blessing, because when I do go to court, when I do see other lawyers, they are more fascinated with the cooking than anything else that I do. Then, like, I could win a motion, I could argue something, and they're like, "Oh, that's great, but your Nero di Seppia recipe. Now, what do you put in that?" I'm like, "Really? That's what like." So it's symbiotic, because a lot of them know me from Instagram, and I've gotten a lot of new clients just from doing the Instagram and the cooking.
Do you feel that could? I'll use me as an example, because it's happened, where I have a role in my career, and now they've discovered this part of me, and they think it's okay to not treat me different, but what's the right way to say
I
it?
actually think it makes you more down to earth, because now they could relate on another level to you, like
Yes.
through
Yes.
cooking, and so it brings you to another level.
I
You know,
think
like
so.
you down to earth.
I think in the beginning, though, I know what you mean. Like, you suffer
hard.
from like imposter syndrome, because it's like, what am I? Am I a cook? Am I a
Right.
lawyer? Like, I think a lot of people want to pigeonhole you. Well, like, you can only do one thing. And it's really, as humans, we do everything. We're parents, we're wives, we're
Right,
husbands.
yeah.
We have a lot of different roles. And so
I was actually
think that's a
getting
good
mad
thing.
at, when people I didn't know from work. I'm like, shh, like, like, oh,
Right,
it's a
right.
problem. It took me a while to come out of that shell.
Because a lot of people don't take you seriously in whatever it is, the other thing that you're supposed to be doing, right? They
Right.
think that if you're a lawyer, you have to be straight-laced, you have to be all business, you can't
Yes,
joke around,
yes.
you can't be down to earth. Or, vice versa. If you're a cook, you can't be serious, you can't walk in a courtroom. Like, so you can do, 2 things can be true at the same time. So it's nice to be able to be fulfilled, like, in all areas.
Do both. Right.
Yeah, 100%.
One of my favorite skits that you've done outside of the food is the one you did with Anthony when you brought back the Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei.
Oh, my cousin Vinny.
Loved it. It was so spot
It must be
on.
a Chinese food.
Yes, yes. The way you guys
You
pulled
stick
us
out like a sore thumb. I love that
It's even the way
movie.
you say it. It's her. It's perfect.
Ironically, it was a courthouse lawyer movie. So
Right.
one of the best.
So what do you have coming up soon? I hear that there's a feast. And
Yes.
you're having a special role of this
Right
feast.
up your alley. It's the patron saint of Palermo, Santa Rosalia, also known as the 18th Avenue Feast in Brooklyn. And it's coming up August 14th through the 24th. So they made me the Grand Marshal, which I was honored. And it's going to be really fun. Really fun. Feast that I've been going to since I was younger. I grew up in Staten Island, but,
went to
Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
was a hop, skip, and a jump away. And we always went. It was always a good time. Great food, great music, and just good vibes all around. So I'm really excited about that.
What is the role of the Grand Marshal?
So I know that the role is basically, I know I'm going to be like emceeing or co-emceeing. Joe Causey is the MC of the cannoli eating contest, sponsored by Villabate Bakery. And then there's a procession, to the patron saint on the Sunday, the 24th. And it's just basically to honor, traditions and culture, Italian culture, Sicilian culture, just to bring the community together because a lot, people move out of the neighborhoods and we really need to keep traditions alive. It's really important to do it for our children and for the younger generation because unfortunately work makes people leave their neighborhoods, their nests.
Right.
It's just a part of what happens. So it's nice to be able to give back in that way.
That's beautiful. Congratulations to being part of that.
Thank you
That's
so
awesome.
much. I'm excited.
And you were saying earlier, part of your family's from Sicily.
Yes.
So what's your background from Italy and Sicily and
So my last name is actually Sicilian, from Messina.
Messina?
Messina. Yes. Where are you from?
We're from Provincia of Palermo. Yeah.
Okay. So the other coasts. Okay.
Yeah.
So my last name is Sicilian. I'm a little bit Sicilian and mostly Napoletan. So Nola and Messina.
You
Nice.
have a nice combination.
A
of
nice combo. Yep. Yep.
A little
So-
across the board.
Exactly. So I mean, we basically a lot of people are Napoletan and Sicilian. That's like a common.
I feel like that
common
lately that's the
line.
only two I'm
Right?
running into.
I feel like it's a lot of people are that mixture. And growing up, we honored all the traditions. Sunday dinner and just Christmas Eve, the 7 fishes, and
Do you
all
still
that.
carry on those traditions today with your family, like eating early on a Sunday or eating together?
I try to.
Right.
It's so hard nowadays.
It is hard today. That's why I asked, because I know it's hard for a lot of
It
people.
is. It's definitely a goal. I can't say it always happens, but you try to make it happen. But you know what it is? Everybody's work
Right.
brings them wherever, and then people move, and it's so hard nowadays to have that. It's really a luxury to be able to live within laws or to have the family be so close together.
Right.
That's one of my motivations on what inspired me to podcast is kind of constantly remind people of your culture. And it doesn't matter if it's Italian, it just, your history matters, your traditions matters. And having kids like we do, if we don't teach them,
Right. Then
Those
who's going to?
traditions and values that we were brought up with, we want them to
Exactly.
learn the same way.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
It dilutes every
does.
generation. It dilutes. And that was part of the reason why I also authored the cookbook, because to me it was important for my son to know these are the recipes, because we never wrote anything down. My grandparents never wrote anything down. And so it's really, to me, I wanted to do that. It's dedicated to him. And so he can see, oh, these are the dishes that, my family ate. And this is, and it's common, Sunday sauce is in there, or gravy, as some say.
Yes.
so which is it?
So so there's a lot of different dishes in there like that. So hopefully one day he'll turn the pages and cook for his girlfriend or wife, or even just for himself, maybe be self-sufficient in the kitchen.
Yeah.
How does your son think of seeing mom famous on Instagram and social media and stuff?
I think at first I was reluctant because I'm thinking to myself, he goes to school and everything. I mean, not that I do anything crazy. What am I cooking? But it's still, you're still like sort of a public figure. But he's embraced it. And he tells his friends to follow along, and his friends think it's really funny and cool. And now he's getting to know the characters of social media. It's wild. And he's like, oh, do you follow this one? And do you follow that one? So when I told him I was going to be on today, he's like, oh, really? Like he had known.
Aw.
So it's really cool. He's like my biggest cheerleader, and like,
That's great
fan.
that you have
Yeah.
his support too.
I think the cutest moments, we're talking about kids now, is when my kids, I Googled your name. You're all over Google. It's like the best thing just to see the little smiles.
I know. They're the best. So hopefully one day he doesn't cook now. He just eats. He just eats.
He'll learn when he's ready. He'll learn. He'll pick up the cookbook, and even knowing that the recipes came from like his family, he'll be more encouraged to try them out.
I know. I told him, I said, I might come to the dorm. So I might make some sausage and peppers in the dorm. He's like, all right,
Well,
bring
you
it
did
on.
A video
I did.
Like that.
I did.
saw that one.
His friends were all about it. I made them like pasta, meatballs, sausage. We went to the dorm.
Gosh.
Oh my God, that must have been a feast for them.
Oh my goodness. He's like, Andrew said it was the best sausage he ever had in his life. I'm like, don't let him tell his mother that. That's not nice. So
Another video that I see that you're a legs only girl.
oh, I love legs only.
That's me.
You like the legs?
I've always loved the legs.
best
I kind of
part.
push the other parts.
Is it tentacles?
the tentacles. I call
Yes.
them legs. Yeah. But yeah.
So I get a kick out of that when I see that.
I know, because a lot of the times, they give you all rings. And I'm like,
They do.
Where are the legs to this dish? So we goofed around. We went to Michael's one day and we started to do it. And they gave us a platter of just legs only.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of like skyrocketed that video. And then one of the waiters in there is like, because of that, everybody's coming in now and ordering legs only.
Asking
Like,
for legs.
right?
A lot
so
of
funny.
A lot of leftovers.
It's funny what people
tubes.
see, and then they think it's reality on social media a lot of the
Yes.
time. It's
Yes,
funny.
That is very true.
Right?
And we get that a lot.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Sure. Or they
Like
think you're
even-
doing something in real time when like you're not there.
It's so funny. Like we did a video together and I'm like, and they commented, I'm like, I don't abuse my husband. And if I did, I would post about it.
Right.
Like, come on, everybody. Like,
I
They
make it-
don't
not
see the
real.
entertainment value of it. They just think it's real. It's crazy.
It's not real.
Right.
It's all for good times and laughs.
It is. It's all about the yucks and the laughs and,
So let me ask you about another journey you've been going on. You've been going on and trying the best burgers.
Yes.
So I know you went to Petaluma. You went to a few great spots.
Yes.
Which one's your favorite? What stands out?
I love
So
burgers.
burgers are good. Burgers
They are.
burgers are my American weakness. I love a burger and fries,
Mm-hmm.
and wings too. But we haven't finished the series yet, so I think I only got
Okay.
a handful of
There's
them.
a few spots.
Yes, great spots. And so I said I'm going to reserve the scoring until the very end because
Okay.
I don't know which one the best one is yet.
So I'm going to look out for that.
Yes,
What
stay
do you
tuned.
look for in a good burger, though? Let's start there.
Okay.
Because you and I were disagreeing here.
We're disagreeing.
Because you look for rare.
Medium rare.
Right. I'm not a rare girl.
Really?
at all.
So me and her agree. There you go.
Who's her? Enzo or me?
No, me and you
No,
agree.
he
Nice.
You.
Nice. So I like to see what they call blood on the bun.
Okay, see, that's what I was going to say
like
to
it.
you.
I like it
I
bloody.
don't like the blood, but there's another name for it.
Myoglobin? Yeah, I know. Everybody was correcting
And I'm like,
me.
all right, call
Yeah.
it what you want.
I know.
I don't want to see you soaked on my bun.
I can't eat leather.
That's how
I'm
I
on your
feel.
side.
That's
That
how I
either.
feel.
I
But do you
like
like
it
a steak?
medium.
Do you like a steak? Medium rare?
love medium.
Medium.
I'm a medium girl.
So it depends what medium is. Like if medium is like kind of like reddish pink, okay. But sometimes medium is like, to me, it's cooked through.
You think that's too much for
Too
you
much.
sometimes.
Yeah,
All
too
right.
much, too much.
All right, you and I, we're like
All
side
right.
by side. We're not
I
right
feel
there,
I feel
but
like the medium or less has more flavor.
you like that better.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
So and then
Okay, so let's
all right.
go
So that's
back.
the burger. So the burger has to be seasoned appropriately. Like I don't want to have to add salt or anything. It should already be done.
True.
I like a nice brioche bun.
Mm-hmm.
Fries. Let's talk fries because you can't have burger without the fries,
right.
right? So to me, the fries have to be well done. They can't be mouchard. I don't want
That's
mouchard
right.
fries. They have to be well done. I don't like the thick steak fries. I like either medium cut or
Okay.
shoestrings.
Yes, I love shoestrings.
I might do a waffle fry, maybe, but usually it's just like the medium.
Curly
or the
fries? Is that in there?
I'll do curly fries. I like curly fries.
And Heinz ketchup.
Of course.
Yes.
Always Heinz. Never the other one. No. I'm not going to mention them by
Okay,
name.
we're there together now on that.
Right. I might like to see a pickle, coleslaw. Like I
love-
might like that. On the burger, I'll do if there's lettuce and tomato, I'll put it on. Some people don't do it. If there's an onion, I'll put it on. But I don't really do cheese. It's crazy. Like I don't really do
Really?
cheese on the burger.
All right.
Yeah. I'll do it. I mean, I'll eat it, but I'd rather have the burger without cheese. Maybe some fried onions for good measure. I'll do that.
Yes.
but-
Well, you get the true flavor of the meat.
Yes.
Of the mixture, so that's
yeah,
why.
yeah. There's some great burger spots though. There's some great ones. In Queens, I went to Uncle Jack's.
Okay.
That was a good burger. I don't know any other good spots in Queens for
yeah,
a
there's
burger.
a few places.
You'll have to.
I'm going to look out for your scores when they're done.
Yes. So I just did a steakhouse burger series, not just any tavern
General.
burger. Because usually you go to a steakhouse, you eat the steak. You're never really
Right.
going to have the burger unless it's lunchtime. So I wanted to really expose myself
You said
to
Peter
the
Luger.
burgers.
I never
Well,
thought once
the burger's
to
good
have
from
a
there.
burger
In a way,
there.
that's great because you're highlighting another great dish that they make that people wouldn't really think of ordering.
Right. Exactly. For like maybe your second or your third time. The first
Yeah.
time you're going to have the steak.
Of course.
So then maybe the second or third time you might think about going there for lunch and having the burger.
Oh, that's a great journey to be on.
So is
I
a
like it.
burger your number one to go to?
Is there a burger?
No, is that your number one to go to?
like a favorite.
Yes.
It's one of them. It's
one of them.
definitely one of them.
What would be your one?
Food wise, American, like we have to talk, like we have to narrow it down.
We need to distinguish
We have to narrow it down.
cultures.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so
Because
American,
I have one in
would
every
get.
Tell me about
category.
it.
So if we say American food, it would be burgers,
It would be burgers and wings, I would say.
wings.
Yeah, I love wings.
If we say Italian dish,
Now, Italian or Italian American?
let's do both.
All right. Well, Italian American, I would probably say like eggplant parm. I love a
I
good
love a
eggplant
good
parm.
eggplant.
Me too. More than chicken, more than veal parm. I love a good eggplant parm. Italian, there's so many. We'd have to specify meat, seafood, veal,
Pasta,
right?
seafood,
Exactly.
meat.
You get it. You know what I mean.
Listen, just visualize like the tree and then all the branches coming down.
It's so hard. I mean, I like everything. There's not much I don't like except for like liver and onions, like organs. I don't really like organs. Like I'll
for me.
I'll eat
What
tripe.
about snails?
Snails I'll eat.
Babalusha.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a child, I was licking my fingers with the little toothpick,
Yeah.
eating them with my family.
Yes.
Now I'm like, I don't know if I could do
I'll
it.
do snails. I like
Okay.
snails. I'll do like snail, even like Asian, like snail with black bean sauce, Chinatown.
Okay.
I'll do the snails.
I grew up with sauce and snails.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I don't know. I could tell you some wild things my family's eaten growing
Oh,
up.
what about
I'm sure.
tripe?
Do you guys
Not
eat
too crazy.
tripe?
but
Yeah,
I like tripe too.
my grandmother made tripe. If it's made right, it's good.
Yes.
You know, if the sauce is good.
Mhm.
But I'm not like looking for it. You know what I mean? But I'll
But if
eat
it's
it.
there, you'll have it a
Exactly.
little. Yeah.
It's like a delicacy. I'll eat
Mhm.
it. But other than that,
What about stigiola with the intestines?
No,
that's
I don't get
barbecue
involved with
grilled?
that. No.
Organ, I forgot.
yes, I don't get involved with that. Or even capezzelle. No.
Oh, that I've never had. But I think like years ago, my grandfather had that.
What's
yes.
The head.
The head.
Oh no.
Like the sheep, the lamb's head. Yeah. No, I mean, I'd rather just have lamb chops. Like, there's no reason for
Yes.
me to look at a head in my dish, like looking back at me.
That's Greek,
I don't
right?
need to see my food looking back
But
at me.
that's big in the Greek culture too, I
Yeah.
believe,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I know it's well, my son's dad's family, they have it. And they're Sicilian American. And they have it every Father's Day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They have it every Father's Day.
There's another big one. It involved the blood.
Oh, like
that's-
sanguinacci, they used to call it?
Yes, the
Yes.
sausage.
Oh,
They make
no,
Yeah.
I don't get involved with that.
Yeah.
But with my grandmother, too, no, never.
I know to us we're like no,
Yeah.
but you know what? Back then they didn't have anything.
No.
So you made the most of everything you had.
They
So
utilized
I get
everything.
it. I'm not putting
Right.
that down. I get it. It's just today we have so
We
much
have the luxury of
at our
not having it.
fingertips that we don't need to go to those things.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
Oh my god, could you imagine feeding our kids the head?
No,
Look at you, they go running.
I know.
I can't eat anything with a bone on it.
Really?
Coming from a big guy.
So you don't eat steak with a bone?
I could do a steak and I could do chicken wings.
Okay.
I can't do more than that.
Like
Really?
not a leg, not a thigh.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
why. I can't eat it.
Yeah, just little, I guess, things
Is it
over
too
the
much work?
years.
I don't know. Maybe I was scarred as a kid.
Why? Because that's all you had. You
Well,
eat it.
back then, your
You made
grandparents would raise some pets, I would say, and
You ate. Oh, well, I
and
know.
I don't know what it was. So probably caught me in a bad time.
So fish, you won't eat a whole fish.
I'm allergic to
He's
fish.
Oh,
allergic.
you're allergic to
And
fish.
I love clams. I love calamari, and it's something that's been missing now for the last 15 years. I
Yeah.
can't have shellfish,
Shellfish.
but it was so bad I was just guided to not touch any fish.
Yes.
Pasta with clams. What I would do for pasta with clams.
But you like the red sauce, not the
Not the white.
traditional.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Linguine and clams, I like white.
I do too.
Yeah. So funny. We could talk about food all day. That's the beauty of like Italian. Like whatever you're eating, you're talking about the next meal. You're always planning what you talk about what you ate, what you're going to eat,
It's
what you
true,
want to
it's
eat.
true. And food brings everybody together.
It's so true.
Well, one of my hardest things is trying to be on a diet
Oh,
and being involved in a family that cooks so well, and then coming across pages.
Oh,
that
please, I
have-
know.
Oh my gosh, why is it so hard to gain weight and so
No, it's
difficult
hard
to lose.
to lose.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the other way
I
around.
know.
Easy to gain.
Oh.
It's so true. I talk about it in my cookbook. I remember like my mother was always so weight conscious growing up, and my friends and I.
Oh, you grew up in a household like where your mom like watched, or
She watched. She's
Okay.
still watching. She
Okay.
watches what I eat. Forget it. She was always on some type of a diet. And I mean, she would cook everything, but she would really watch. And, as kid, we lived in a 2-family house. My grandmother lived upstairs. So it was
Just like us.
2 dinners. Right. It was my grandfather came home from work early. My dad came home later. So I ate dinner with them upstairs, came down, ate dinner number 2. And my mother was constantly yelling, like the Catholic
you
school
don't need
uniform
2
wasn't going to
dinners.
fit anymore. And so, yeah, it was constant eating
wow.
all the time.
That really reminds me of me growing up. So walk us through that. Growing up, being with your grandparents, because I lived with them up until they moved to Florida. I'm married.
Yeah,
it
but
was
your
like
whole
having
life
it was like
you
having
grew
2
up.
moms home.
It's true. My mother's mother and right, so it was my mother's parents upstairs and staying home from school, like when you're sick, forget about it. It was like Florence Nightingale times 2 because my nana would come air out the room with the windows open and then what are we gonna make her soup and this
Little
and that.
pastina.
Exactly. And
Did you watch The Price is Right?
of course. Of course. Love The Price is Right. That was the best. Bob Barker and Family Feud.
That's right.
And he would like kiss all the
Yes,
female
he did.
contestants, right? Richard Dawson.
He did. My grandmother called him Vaza Vaza because he kissed all the women.
He did, and
Yeah.
it was just accepted like
It was
back
okay.
then.
I don't know why though. Like you went
Nobody
just kiss this
really,
guy?
nobody really
Maybe
even
because
questioned
he was
it.
well known, and
I
they
guess.
just felt like
And he was well
"Ah."
dressed. I guess they felt he was like polite or whatever. But nowadays, they would never get away with that.
I mean, I'm
Right.
not judgmental, but he wasn't that good looking of a person to get away with that and
He
be
got
okay
away with it though. But there was so much that went on, like even on TV back then.
Yeah.
That, like you say, nowadays it would never happen.
Well, even with The Price is Right, I think back then, like he wouldn't have none of the women, like only women. Number one,
Right.
None of them could be expecting. They all had to be like they had to fit like this mold. Skinny,
Yes.
skinny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he had like a thing that he wanted. They all had to look a certain way.
You mean the Diane and Janice, the
models and
hostesses,
stuff.
whatever, the hostess, the
On
ones
Price
that
is
were.
Right, the women,
The
that
women,
were like,
yes, yes,
models, the
exactly.
models.
The models, whatever.
Yes, there was Diane, there was Janice, there was somebody. There was
Well, you
3
know
of
the
them.
names. I don't.
Too funny.
But today they don't do that no more. They have everybody and anybody, which is nice. At least they've.
It's inclusive for
yeah.
sure. I know they did a lot on TV that they don't do. I mean,
Yeah.
even smoking cigarettes, you can't smoke cigarettes on TV right anymore. You used to be able to do all
I
that.
know. I used to wear my. Remember Marlboro? You have to do the miles.
Yes. Oh, the miles. You just unlocked a memory. I haven't thought about that in a
I
while.
used to get
Wait, the duffel bag.
the duffel bags.
Yes.
Did you like sport the jacket?
I still have the duffel bag.
I know you do.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you redeemed the miles for goods, right?
Yeah, we had a little booklet.
It's so funny. My dad's not even a smoker. I don't know where the hell he collected these. Probably at work, right? The
Probably.
friends, and he'd come home and we'd like save them up or whatever. And then I remember redeeming them.
I know. Everybody smoked back then. I mean, like we were just,
Yeah.
I was talking about this the other day, like with the card games. My grandparents had the card games in
Oh my
our
God.
basement.
Yeah.
Did we have the same growing,
Yes.
same upbringing? The card games, they would all congregate. They would all smoke. You would go down there. You couldn't see anything. It was like one big cloud of smoke between the women with the bouffant hairdos and the smoke. You couldn't tell like where their hair ended and the smoke.
And we
began.
grew up fine inhaling that.
Oh my goodness, I know. Well, I mean, I had bronchial asthma as a kid, and it was probably my parents smoking, but I outgrew it. But yeah, it was just wild. They would smoke in while pregnant back then.
Yes.
In the cars.
In the cars with the windows open.
The little window in the front was just made for ashing.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. with the
Growing up, I
smoking.
can't believe you said that you unlocked memories for me.
Yes.
It was card night every time
Friday
we got together,
nights.
and all you saw was smoke and the sound of coins just hitting the table.
Yes. And they would play cards till like 5 a.m.
What game did they play?
I think they played Ziganetta. I know they played, a lot of the Italian games, but they also played poker and they played a bunch. I guess they would just alternate, like dealer's choice or whatever. But
So there was always 2 tables going on when families got together. There was the old men doing the scuba or briscola.
oh, okay.
And
yes,
then there was
Briscoe, they always played
I
that
guess
too.
like what us generation now would be is playing 7-card poker.
Yes.
Or rummy, -10.
Yes. Well, sometimes even the women, we would play with the kids.
Yes.
And then we play a few games while the guys were playing. But yeah, it would go all night long.
All night.
And I don't remember saying, Daddy, I'm tired. I want to go home. No, you lay down and you knock out on
No.
the couch. And when we go home, I'll call you.
I remember being like the source of entertainment. My grandmother would tell me to come down. I remember I had to be like maybe 3 years old. This is one of my first memories. I would sing for them. They would teach me Italian songs, and I would sing for them at the card games.
That is
When they wanted to take a
You
break,
probably
she'd be like,
collected-
Danielle, sing Marianina. Look, she's gonna sing Marianina in the smoke.
He probably gave you a couple of tips, too.
Of course.
Did you speak Italian growing up?
Not really. Only like, just select words and things like that. Like I could understand it better than I spoke it. And I knew when they were speaking Italian, they were talking about me behind my back because that's what they used to do. Like my grandmothers would get together and talk. And I was like, oh, they're talking about me or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Growing up home for us, and very similar, there was no English at home.
Okay.
But now we do the same thing when we want to talk bad about our kids.
So now you talk, but do you talk Sicilian or you talk Italian?
Sicilian.
We took the dialect.
Oh, the
Sicilian,
dialect,
yeah.
all the D's and U's, right?
Yes, a lot of use.
Shikere-do. Pichiri-do.
True.
It's so different. Like when I went to Sicily for the first time, my head was spinning. I thought I took a couple of refresher courses that I thought I knew I had Italian down pat. But then when I went to Sicily, I was like, wow, I don't
Yes,
even know what
yes.
language
You
this
feel like
is.
a fish out of water.
Yes, I couldn't keep up. It was so different. It was so different. I was like, wait a minute, is that Italian? Is that Sicilian? Like, what is that?
So the first thing is when I went in 2001, because that's how long I haven't been there, I thought I was going to go there. I was the shit because I was English and I could speak Sicilian.
Right.
Nobody was talking Sicilian in Sicily.
In 2001?
Yeah, the dialect was already going away because they removed it from a lot of the towns by the schools. So I honestly had a hard time
No
understanding
proper Italian.
Right.
and
Right.
things my aunt would say. I was like, what? I was disappointed.
And the words
by
are,
that.
some of them are completely different. They're not even like just a couple of letters different. It's like a complete difference of
Yeah.
a word.
I could tell
wild.
you, growing up in high school, we were in the same Italian class together. The teacher hated me because I was Sicilian, and the words. How do you say apple in
Mela.
Italian? I say pumo.
Ah, okay. What about, isn't watermelon different too?
We say malune.
Malune.
So there was a lot of words where he would say, I think it was chair.
Right.
I say sedia.
Seja,
Right.
as opposed to
Like
seda,
Rosalia
right?
instead of Sadia.
Yeah.
So every day I would get out. I would get thrown out of the
Oh
class.
my goodness. How funny.
So the dialects are very different, and it also varies from town to town within Sicily.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
Yes.
What town is your family from?
A town called Campriale. It's an hour from Palermo.
Okay. How about
Same
yours?
town.
Oh, same town. So it wasn't
So even-
arranged?
no. So even our grandparents go back to the same town of knowing each other.
That's wild.
So him and I, we really didn't our parents knew each other even when they moved here.
But we didn't know
And
each other.
his family came to visit us when I was born and vice versa. My parents went to his brother's christening. But we didn't grow up together,
Yes, so-
right?
yes.
And then in high school, when we met and started talking, that was like, oh, well, we know her. What do you mean you know her? Oh, I know him. What do you mean you know him?
Yes.
And then that, you kind of learn
Yeah.
the background, how
Exactly.
far back it goes.
Did they say Ida come nuadra?
Yeah.
I love that.
But it's
See, I can talk Sicilian.
you're good.
So who's the Sicilians in the family? Your mom or dad?
No, my dad's my dad. So my last name is Sicilian, but I'm not first generation. I'm like third generation.
Third generation.
Yes.
And you say the pretty good, the words.
Thanks. So we're pretty. I mean, people tell me even though we're American, I guess we kept the tradition. So I'm like the most Italian American that they know. But my family, we came from Little Italy. So similar. My parents both grew up together. My grandparents knew each other. So it was very insular back then. So everybody knew everybody. My mom was in the classes with my uncle, my dad's brother. So it was definitely a different day and age than it is now.
Do you get offended if someone says you're not Italian
Meaning Sicilian.
or Sicilian? Yeah.
People say I'm not Italian all the time. I'm Greek, I am Indian, because I get dark in the summertime, so I get every ethnicity. And I'm like, it's all good, I don't
No,
mind.
meaning more like you grew up in an Italian family,
Right.
and you're doing sometimes.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like that I'm more American. No, I just think that it depends. Like nowadays, people are very, oh, unless you speak Italian, you're not Italian. Unless you have an Italian last name, you're not Italian. Unless you have been to Italy 17 times, you're not Italian. There's all these rules that people make up. And I just think that that's like very anti-Italian. I think the Italians are very inclusive. So I think it's nice to be proud of your, province, right? Your Napolitan or your Calabrese or whatever. But I think for the most part, we're all Italian. We all should support each other, and we all should want to include people as opposed to exclude people. So
100%. I
Yeah.
feel like there's not enough love out there on
100%.
supporting your own, and
Supporting your own people.
people love to put it down.
Yes, they do. They do. Italians more than there's a lot of dog eat dog with the Italians that doesn't go on in other ethnicities. Like we really need to kind of band together more, because when somebody's successful that's Italian, the first thing some people want to do is bring them down, as opposed to saying, great, they made it. They're one of us, So yeah, I definitely think, and when you go there, they're welcoming you to speak the language, even though you are butchering it, or maybe you're not saying it right. They welcome that because you're trying to speak their language, as opposed to some other countries where if you don't speak it perfectly, they're like, oh, these Americans,
I get that here.
You do.
Yeah. Because I don't notice it. I mean, I guess dialect and slang, right? As I guess I got older, even our parents, they'll start saying things that are English
Right.
with the Italian accent on it. So like carro.
Right.
It's not. So I got used to that.
Instead of macchina, right?
Instead of macchina.
Yeah.
So when I went to Italy, I was throwing out those words.
Caro, right.
Without realizing it. Cake.
Cake of the ball.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff like that. What do you have coming up next? What can you share with us?
What I just did was I just purchased, I acquired a law practice other than mine. So that's one thing I have on the legal front. So somebody that I knew was retiring, he's slowing down, and he's in Queens actually. So I just bought his practice, and
Congratulations.
thank you. So I'm looking to expand that a little bit more than what I have. So I took on an employee. She was helping me out on a part-time basis. Now she's my employee. So hopefully that'll get to run itself a little bit more. I'll be a little bit less involved in that and more involved in some other stuff. So filmed a couple of music videos, which was nice.
Oh, very cool.
And I'm just looking to expand a little bit. I do a lot of recipe development with brands and things like that. I'm not really shy to be on camera. I guess it's being trained that way, going to law school and then being in front of judges, you kind of get a thick
Breaks the
skin.
ice.
Yes, over the years, you don't care. You're getting screamed at. You don't care anymore. So you develop a thick skin. You don't take things personally. And so I like to meet other people and meet other creatives. So I definitely am open to a bunch of other things. I have a lot of balls in the air. So brands collabs and people collabs and acting, and so sky's the limit.
I was gonna say acting. I feel like when I see the skits, I'm going back to the one that you did.
The Marissa Tomei.
I see you on a screen.
It's a bullshit question.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna give you a couple lines after the show just so I can record them.
100%.
The last thing I would like to bring up is you said earlier that you don't discriminate like all types of food.
Right.
All the types of cultures. Obviously, excluding Italian, which would be your best dish to cook and why?
Other than Italian.
Yes.
My best dish other than Italian. So many. We were talking about burgers before. I love lamb. So I love like a good lamb burger. So that would be,
Ooh,
I
I never
guess,
had
Greek.
that.
Oh my God. If you like lamb, I have one in my cookbook, so you can whip it up. You season the ground lamb meat. You can get it from Mario's if you want. They have ground lamb, and tzatziki sauce, like a nice slice of red onion, nice toasted bun. I love a good lamb burger, so I would say that is one of them. I also love like Asian, like any kind of like stir fry ribs. I have a great rib recipe. I love the Asian Chinatown spare ribs. So those, So yeah, I would say I gravitate if I'm going out to dinner, I'll go like Mexican or Japanese. Those are my other two top favorites.
Those are good too choices.
I love sushi, so that I'll do sushi or Mexican, and then to be at home I would make like Asian or the Greek lamb burger too, or even like a paella. I love seafood, so anything with
I do too.
shellfish or seafood, I love that.
Mexican is my number one, believe it or not.
Yeah, you like that.
Mexican's
Love it.
good.
Love
Good
it.
stuff. I love guacamole. I can eat guacamole like daily.
Yes.
Daily.
And where can they find your cookbook?
So my cookbook is available on my website, which is Have You Covered in the Kitchen with the letter U. And it's also on Amazon. So the ones on Amazon are not signed. The ones on my website are signed. And
Oh, nice. So if they order through your website, and
I can
you'll
sign it
sign it
and
then-
personalize it.
Beautiful.
Exactly, exactly. And so
cool.
the Amazon ones just ship straight from Amazon, so I don't get to personalize those. But I could always mail like a little plate to stick in it in the front of it.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you can follow me on socials, Have You Covered in the Kitchen, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
Awesome.
and YouTube.
Which one of your social media platforms do you enjoy working with most?
I started really on Instagram. So a lot of people started on TikTok and then they transitioned over. I started on Instagram. So I'm partial to Instagram. Also, I work with brands, and a lot of brands are really not on TikTok or they're new to the TikTok game. So I think I would say Instagram.
Instagram,
mostly.
right?
But I do like the long form content now. I'm moving more toward long form content. So I've been working on a couple of things that are longer, maybe half-hour episodes, which is really fun to kind of delve into things because I'm very detail oriented.
Which is great. Yeah.
Yes. So I think it's like the law training, we're kind of very analytical. So I tend to be that way with dishes and food too. So I like to rip it apart.
I think people look for that though too, like things that we don't like think twice about. Oh yeah, just fill the pot with water, throw it in, and you're done. But they want to know detailed.
I know.
What are you doing? This is how much. This is how you do it. And so
It's
I'm
true.
Sure
It's
they
true.
Enjoy that.
And that was the most challenging thing with the cookbook because we don't, as Italian Americans, we don't quantify anything. We just say a little bit of this, a sprinkle of this. This looks right. We taste it, but it's hard when you write a cookbook because people need exact quantities. And so that was the most challenging part because I won't make it the same way every time I make it. Maybe I'll put a little salt this time. Maybe I'll put a little more red pepper. So that was the challenging part. But doing the long form content I like because you really can get into the flavors of a dish and the history of a dish. I'm like a food geek like that. I want to know the background. Even when I go to the burger places, I want to know the history of when the place started. I like to give a little background on that stuff. So
I brought that up because I'm starting to realize all the platforms has its age group.
it's true.
And I know what to push where for it to get a certain feed.
Okay.
And
So
I-
I would say TikTok is probably the youngest, right?
Yep.
And Facebook's the oldest.
Yep.
That's what I've seen so far. And Instagram is kind of hit or miss. It's in between.
It's in between. And then I feel like Instagram is a mixture.
Yes.
But majority, I
Definitely.
think it's our age.
Right. But the consumers, I would think, are like the middle age, right? Because
Yes.
the consumers are not going to be the 18-year-olds, really. It depends, I guess, what you're selling. I guess if you're selling makeup, maybe yes.
Right.
If you're selling, tomato paste, I don't know.
How hard is it to make one of these?
So that was really definitely a learning curve because obviously I never did that before. I never authored a cookbook. And they say now that I wrote a book, I had a child, now the third thing I have to do is plant a tree. They say you have to plant a tree. So yeah, there's some proverb that I have to plant a tree. So maybe we could plant a tree next time.
Would you consider making another one?
I would. This time around, though, because I won't have the luxury of having the time that I had over COVID, I probably would need some assistance, like a publisher or a co-author, because I did everything myself, from the pictures to the wording of it. And the only thing that I had help with is the formatting. My cousin is a graphic designer, so he helped me with the formatting because Amazon had their own borders and formatting requirements, which was really tough for me to learn. So he helped me with that. But other than that, I would do it again in a heartbeat.
So how long of a time frame did this take you?
That was probably like a year, I would say. I really didn't set forth to do it. What I did was I made the recipes, I posted them, I took pictures, I posted them on social media, and then I worked backwards and I said, I'm going to include this in the cookbook. So it was kind of like working in
time.
reverse. And it took time. Yeah, it took time. But all the pictures were, and I did all the food styling. I did literally everything. So it was really like grassroots. I styled everything. I went to Home Goods. I would buy plates. I would buy glasses and tablecloths and staged everything.
Yeah.
Well, to do everything yourself and now learning awesome job. I mean, this
Thank
this
you.
looks beyond professionally
you.
made. It's nice.
And I took everybody, it's very user friendly. So from the most novice chefs or cooks, I should say, there's a getting started section. It goes through all the tools that, I use that you need in the kitchen. And just basically, it's pretty step by step. It's pretty basic.
So Danielle, I just want to thank you for coming
Thank
coming
you.
here and giving us a little bit of everything that you did, learning the court side of you and the kitchen side of
Thank
you,
you.
and then the real you, which I think is the best part. People could get to know. Everyone, check her out. Follow her on the social media. Grand Marshal, dish in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. You guys have to come. We have to break cannoli together.
Well, we can't have Brooklyn Bites win again, right? Somebody has to.
I don't even think he's in it this year.
He's not.
I don't think he's in it this year. So it's an upset because he's the reigning champ for the last 3 years, or 2 years.
I just thought he was automatically in since he's the champion.
I know. So it's gonna be wild. There's a women's competition this year too. So there's, if you want, they were looking for volunteers. There's a women's competition and a men's. So there's two
For
the cannoli.
Oh, for the cannoli. I would throw up. I love cannoli. I can't do mouthfuls of.
No, in like a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Certain amount of time,
exactly. Yeah.
Although
it's
Villa
too much.
Bate does have great cannolis.
Oh yeah, they have great cannoli. They definitely do.
But again, thank you.
Thank
Come
you
check us
both.
out at the Santa Rosalia Feast.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. This
Bye,
was
everybody.
fun.